If you're thinking about moving from Toronto to Calgary, I want you to watch this video before you do anything else. Before you Google neighborhoods, before you talk to a realtor, and definitely before you start packing boxes. Because here's the thing, most people who make this move absolutely love it, but the ones who struggle, they made the same 3 or 4 mistakes that are completely avoidable if you just know what to look for. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through everything. The cost of living comparison, the neighborhoods, the job market, the lifestyle, and the stuff that nobody else is talking about on YouTube. By the end of this, you're going to have a clear picture of whether Calgary is the right move for you and exactly how to do it the right way. Let's get into it. Before I dive in, if you're already at the stage where you're seriously consider making this move and you want somebody in your corner who actually knows Calgary, reach out to me. My contact information is in the description below, and every week I work with professionals relocating here from Toronto, Vancouver, across the country, and across the world. So if you have questions about neighborhoods, builders, resale value, all of it, that's exactly what I'm here for. So don't be shy. The info's in the description below, and I'm happy to help. All right, let's talk about Calgary. The number one reason I'm seeing people leave Toronto for Calgary right now is affordability, but not in the way people usually think about it. It's not that housing is cheaper, it's the quality of life per dollar is dramatically different. So in Toronto, a $1.2 million budget might get you a semi-detached home in a decent neighborhood. In Calgary right now, that same budget gets you a brand new, fully upgraded home in a master plan community with good schools, parks, and actual space to breathe. The second big driver is remote work flexibility. A large portion of the clients that I work with have jobs that have moved remote during or after the pandemic, and then they realized there was absolutely no reason to keep paying Toronto prices if they didn't have to be there. So Calgary becomes a very easy decision when you run those numbers. And the third reason, and this one surprises people, is lifestyle. So Calgary has changed dramatically over the last decade. The food scene, the culture, the access to the mountains, the outdoor lifestyle. People move here expecting a smaller version of Toronto, and they find something completely different in a good way. Okay, let's talk money because this is usually what people want to know first. And I'm going to give you real numbers, not vague general parts. Housing is the obvious one. The average home price in Calgary right now is sitting around $600 to $650 for a lane detached home. Compare that to Toronto where you're looking at about 1.1 million plus. Now that gap's going to be significant, and if you're looking at suburban communities where most of my relocation clients end up, places like Mahogany, Seaton, Rockland Park, or Legacy, you could get a brand new 2,400 square foot home in the 700 to 900,000 range with modern finishings, a proper backyard, and a front drive garage. Now, Alberta has no provincial sales tax. There's no PST here. So that means every purchase, every service, everything you buy day to day, you're only paying the federal GST. And that adds up to real money in your pocket over the course of a year, especially for a household that's spending on a higher level. You know, groceries, utilities, day-to-day living costs are comparable to Toronto, probably even lower, but where you feel it is housing. And for people making this move with equity from a Toronto sale, many of my clients are buying their Calgary home outright or with a very small mortgage. And that changes everything. Let's talk neighborhoods. And I want to give you an honest take here, not just a list of places that sound nice. Calgary is built into quadrants: northwest, northeast, southwest, southeast, and each one has its own personality. For professionals relocating from Toronto, the communities that keep coming up the most are almost always in the southeast or the northwest. Those areas dominate for a reason. They have the newest communities, the best master plan development, and the lifestyle that tends to match what most relocation buyers are looking for. So let me give you a breakdown for each one. In the southeast, the community that I recommend the most consistently is going to be Mahogany. It's built around a private lake with a beach club that residents have exclusive access to. And it has strong schools, great pathway systems, and a commercial base that's growing fast. It consistently ranks as one of the top family communities in the entire city. Legacy is going to be another strong option. It's going to be great for buyers who want a slightly lower entry price point without giving up the community quality. It has a younger demographic and a really strong neighborhood feel. And then there's going to be Seaton, which is more of an urban district than a traditional suburb. It's home to the Calgary South Health Campus, one of Calgary's newest and most modern hospitals, right in the community. There's also the world's largest YMCA out there with 330,000 square feet, 2 NHL-sized rinks. We have an Olympic pool there, a full Calgary Public Library, a theater, and a surf simulator. So it's massive. Then on top of that, not too far away, there's a VIP movie theater, very walkable streets, restaurants, commercial strip that keeps growing. So if you're a professional who wants new construction but doesn't want to feel like you're living in the middle of nowhere, Seaton is worth a serious look. Now, further outside of Calgary, we have Okotoks and Cochrane, which are towns just south and west of the city that attract buyers who want more space and a small town feel, and stronger sense of community without sacrificing too much on the commute. Now, the Northwest is an area that I want to make sure I give proper attention to because it's honestly a large portion of my relocation clients that end up there. The Northwest sits on a higher elevation with rolling hills and a lot of homes and streets that have genuinely impressive views. So depending where you are, if you're looking at the city skyline or to the south or the Rocky Mountains to the west, it's the kind of thing that makes the drive a little bit different. Now, communities like Evanston, Nolan Hill, Sherwood, and Concora are all newer master plan communities with great pathway systems, solid day-to-day amenities, and easy access to Nose Hill Park, one of the largest urban parks in Canada. The resident base in these communities is generally diverse, which a lot of my clients from Toronto and Vancouver appreciate right away. It feels familiar in that way. And then you have more established Northwest communities like Tuscany and Rocky Ridge, which have strong schools and a really proven community track record. If you're working anywhere in the Northwest or making regular trips towards Cochrane and the mountains, the commute advantage from these communities is significant. And here's what I tell every client though, and this is the insight that I want you to take away from this entire section. The neighborhoods matter more than the house. You could renovate a kitchen, you could upgrade the finishes, but you cannot change the trajectory of a community. So before you fall in love with a specific home, get clear on whether the area fits your lifestyle. If you're a family with kids, schools and walkability matters. If you're a professional couple, you might care about access to restaurants, pathways, and commute times. If outdoor lifestyle is more your thing, proximity to the mountains and trails probably need to be on your checklist. So get that section right first, then find the house. One of the most common questions I get from Toronto buyers is whether to go out and buy new build or resale. And in Calgary specifically, this is an important conversation because we have a very active new construction market. And most of the buyers from out of province don't fully understand how it works. The appeal of a new build is obvious: modern finishes, energy efficiency, builder warranties, no renovation surprises. But here's what most buyers don't realize. Not all Calgary builders are created equal. Build quality varies significantly across the city, and choosing the wrong builder is a costly mistake that you're going to live with for years. When I work with relocation clients, one of the first things that I do is help them understand which builders have strong reputations for quality construction versus which ones are going to be known for issues. Some of that is publicly available. You could look at warranty claims, builder reviews, things like that. But a lot of it comes from just being in the market long enough to see the patterns. I've been doing this for over 15 years, and after a while, you start to recognize who builds well, who cuts corners, and which homes actually hold up over time. That's the kind of thing you can't Google. Resale homes give you more certainty on what you're getting. What you see is what you get. But in the communities that most relocation buyers are targeting, the resale inventory in new communities is limited, which is why new builds tend to be the path for some of my clients. All right, so let me tell you about the lifestyle side of this, because this is where people are most often pleasantly surprised. So first is the mountains. If you're coming from Toronto, this is going to be a genuine upgrade in your quality of life. Banff is only 90 minutes away. Canmore is 75 minutes away. You could leave the house on a Saturday morning, do a proper mountain hike, and then be back in time for dinner. That's just a normal weekend here. Now, people who move here from Toronto for the affordability often stay for the mountains. Second is going to be the winters. Now, I know Calgary could get cold, but what most people don't know is we have something here called a Chinook. It's a warm wind that comes off the Rockies, and in the middle of January, we can have days that are double digits above zero. Calgary actually has more sunshine hours per year than Miami. I know that sounds absurd, but it's true. The cold is manageable, and Calgaryans have figured out how to live life year-round, regardless of the temperatures. Third, and I want to be honest here, Calgary is not Toronto in terms of density, nightlife, or cultural diversity in the urban core. Now, if those things are non-negotiable for you, you need to know that going in. But what Calgary offers in exchange is space, a community feel, and a pace of life that a lot of people from high-density cities find really refreshing. The trade-off is different, not worse. Let's wrap up the practical side of this. If you're seriously considering this move, here's what I tell you to focus on. Start with the timeline. Most of my relocation clients start the conversation 3 to 6 months before their target move date. That's going to give you enough time to understand the market, visit Calgary ideally at least once, and get pre-approved if you need financing and not feel rushed into the decision. Second, let's get clear on your priorities before you start looking at homes. Community, commute, school zones, lifestyle access. Know what matters to you the most so you're not chasing every new listing that hits the market. And third, and this one's important, don't try to do this remotely without somebody who actually knows the city. Buying from out of province is already challenging, and Calgary is a market with real nuances. Neighborhoods are developing fast, some communities are stronger than others, and builder quality is uneven. So the difference between getting good advice and not getting it could be tens of thousands of dollars. So that's everything you need to know to start making a smart decision about this move. If this was helpful, I put together a free Calgary home buyer guide that goes even deeper on a lot of what we talked about today. It's the same resource I share with my relocation clients when we first connect. So you can grab that in the description box below. And if you're at the point where you actually want to talk through your move with somebody who knows this market, my Calendly link is in the description box down below too. So you can book a call using the link below, and I'll help you map out the right areas, what you should be looking at in your price range, and how to approach this move properly. I'll see you in the next one.